open a Sagicor Bank savings account from anywhere. Go online and open yours today.
The time by Sagicor Bank is
CVM News at 7 Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart NSDA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, expect new taxes. Finance Minister says country should expect new taxes as government grapples with Melissa fallout. Facing the fallout, Jamaicans studying in Cuba forced to return home as U.S. piles pressure on Havana. Jealousy and malice. Embattled funeral home director breaks silence after CVM special report. And did popular blog Politics Watch influence a 2023 police operation? Details emerge in Clansman gang trial. In the business report, the UTech Lloyd Carney Foundation IMEC lab launch. While in sports, Sunshine Girls hammered by Australia in series sweep.
CVM News at 7 Wednesday headlines, courtesy of Heart NSDA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Every dream conquered is another dream gained. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction, 'cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard, and the music keeps on playing. People them I say we are my show tonight. Oh, what a feeling! Don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't put it down. Shine your lights
on. CVM News at 7 Wednesday, courtesy of
Sagicor, building trust for generations.
Celebrating 55 years.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. It's Wednesday, February 11, 2026. I'm Nika Lewis. Thank you so much for joining us. Rising geopolitical tensions are already forcing some Jamaican students studying in Cuba to return home. Speaking at Wednesday's post-cabinet media briefing, Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith said the government is now looking to see how best to assist the students as the situation on the ground is already taking a toll. Amoy Harriet has the details.
There are some 300 Jamaicans currently studying in Cuba, 44 on government scholarship, and roughly 256 privately funded. About 13 of them have so far decided to return home, given the ongoing unrest in Cuba and the resulting economic fallout.
Over the past few weeks, some of our students have been reaching out and have advised that their institutions have either closed for a period, in one case for 4 weeks, others that classes have been suspended in favor of virtual studies. There is one institution which has suspended its classes, and that affects 6 students under the scholarship program, but they are awaiting further advice
Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith says the ministry is in close contact with the students, many of whom are now grappling with power outages and disrupted travel. A WhatsApp group has been established with roughly 300 students, allowing the ministry to receive frequent updates on conditions on the ground. The minister says the cabinet is also now examining what support could be offered to ensure the continuation of studies for the students on scholarships.
For those who are self-funded or privately funded, it is hoped that engagements with local institutions might be able to identify options about how they could be facilitated. But this is quite a difficult thing to navigate.
The students have also been advised to assess their individual circumstances and consult with their institutions to determine the best way forward.
The embassy also took the further step of dispatching a diplomatic note to the foreign ministry in Cuba, seeking assistance, or rather guidance, in ascertaining how best students could be facilitated in the circumstances, including whether transcripts will be made available by way of policy, whether transcripts will be made available to students who seek to continue their studies elsewhere if this is occasioned by the disruptions in availability of classes.
The minister adds that they've been urged to remain prepared for emergency departures if necessary.
We understand that the disruptions vary based on location, proximity to priority areas, and the location of your institution or where they live. So circumstances vary widely. So we want them to assess their circumstances, consult with their parents or guardians, consult with their institutions, and consider their opportunities as well to return home, given that travel will become more difficult.
Moy Harriet for CVM News.
Telecommunications Minister and co-chair of the Relief and Recovery Oversight Committee, Darrell Vaz, is this evening doubling down on his defense of emergency procurement decisions he made after Hurricane Melissa, rejecting claims that he breached procurement procedures. This comes after a recent Auditor General's report found, among other things, that millions were spent on Starlink devices that were never used. The minister, who released a statement hours after the AG report was published, has since come under heavy fire for what critics describe as a nonchalant response and a lack of accountability in the face of serious governance concerns. But speaking at Wednesday's post-cabinet media briefing, the minister again insisted he did what was practical in the face of an emergency.
You know that I'm someone who just speaks open and frankly. I have taken note of the public commentary since the release of the AG's report on the Starlink procurement and my subsequent press release. And to say, despite all of the commentary, there was no implication of corruption in this matter. I wish to make it abundantly clear my respect for the Auditor General's department and the Auditor General and the work it is mandated to do. But I maintain this is a national disaster. Extreme times require practical and prudent actions. And as a senior legislator and minister of government, I am always reminded that I'm under duty to uphold the Constitution and laws of Jamaica, for which I fully respect.
In the meantime, the Integrity Commission has rolled out a new monitoring framework aimed at strengthening oversight of government procurement, linked to Hurricane Melissa recovery efforts. The initiative is designed to track emergency contracts, audit spending, and ensure public and donor funds are properly accounted for during the recovery process. Akeem Aret has more.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, billions of dollars in public and donor funds are expected to flow through emergency procurement channels. But with relaxed rules often required during disaster response, the Integrity Commission says heightened oversight is critical to ensure transparency, accountability, and public trust. Director of Investigations at the Integrity Commission, Kevin Stevenson, says the system is necessary given the unique nature of emergency contracting.
This new framework, which is specific to the post-Melissa emergency contracts, will isolate those contracts that are directly related to the post-Melissa response to ensure that we are giving those contracts the attention that they need. And this, of course, is within the context of relaxed rules.
Emergency procurements are not subjected to the normal GOJ rules. They are governed by the most recent Guidance Note 2 of 2025, issued by the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. In a statement released recently, the Commission notes all procuring entities are required to tag hurricane-related transactions as Hurricane Melissa recovery, ensuring they are clearly identifiable and traceable. The Commission Director says all procuring entities should advise the Commission of any contract of more than 500,000 Jamaican dollars. The authority to request that information comes under Section 51 of the Integrity Commissions Act.
And if they fail to do so, we will seek to enforce the provision by using the different instruments available to us, whether it is by way of summons to bring the information to the Commission so that we can have sight of that information. The information is very important to us because it will give us an opportunity to easily understand what rules should apply to these procurement activities.
Stevens further notes the framework will help identify potential red flags, assess high-risk areas, and evaluate the effectiveness of emergency procurement measures, especially given the urgency of relief efforts.
In that case, you find that the rules, of course, will be relaxed. And so that creates the opportunity for persons who want to commit acts of corruption, fraud. There's also the possibility for waste. There's the possibility that substandard goods and works will be delivered. So there are a number of risks associated with this kind of response.
This framework, according to the director, will improve transparency and public confidence in the management of disaster recovery funds.
We're looking at these contracts from a purely unbiased standpoint. Now, there are also reporting requirements under the Integrity Commission Act, where if we should uncover any breach of code or law, we are required to make these findings public by way of Section 54 of the Integrity Commission Act. And there are occasions where we could publish special reports under Section 36. That adds a certain degree of transparency to the process.
Akeem Oret, CVM News.
Meanwhile, after weeks of allegations by two families that the funeral home contracted by the Princess Margaret Hospital is at fault for the heavily decomposed state they received bodies of their relatives, the funeral home is speaking out. In an exclusive interview with CVM News, the funeral director not only denies those allegations, but is shedding light on the web that's left him without the contract and staving off reputational damage. The owner of the funeral home at the center of recent controversies in St. Thomas Wednesday bemoaned weeks of backlash faced over what he said began from seeds of jealousy and malice, allegedly by others in the funeral services industry seeking to thwart his rapid rise.
Because of age, we had a funeral home with we, because we one of the fastest growing funeral home in St. Thomas. It's an age is going on. So they're trying to bring us down and misleading the people with false information. So I just want to clear our name that nothing like that. And we have pictures before we hand the body to the funeral home. So our name is clear on that.
His funeral home was since 2023 contracted by the Princess Margaret Hospital to store its deceased patients. Those labeled coroner's cases also stay with him. But when 16-year-old Abigail Baugh and 32-year-old Tabika Richards passed away last year, their families were left speechless. Months elapsed pending an autopsy, and the bodies finally re-emerged. The CEO said he too was shocked. In the case of the late teen,
before we hand over the body to that funeral home, we took a picture. So the picture we took, I have it in my phone, and about 1 month after we hand over the body, there's another picture circulating. And when we put the two pictures together, it's totally different. But I have my picture where the same day that funeral home collect the body. Also, we have a release form where they look at the body first and see the body was in a good condition, in a fair condition, and they sign to that body and take the body.
And on the matter of Miss Richards, who passed away on October 26, 2025.
When I released the body to that funeral home, is only a little strip was on the face, where we do worse than that. We get body worse than that and we get it buried without no problem. So because the funeral home want to look bad upon we, they wrap up the body and act like the body is decomposed.
Relatives told CVM News their loved ones' bodies appeared poorly kept or decomposed. The funeral service director countered, saying,
"For the bodies on the fridge for so long and they don't embalm, we're going to have a little strip here now and then, all right? But the body did never decompose because the same morning, the government do the autopsy on the body. If the body was decomposed, the government will never do the autopsy on the body."
We'll definitely continue to monitor that developing story, but there's more to come after the break.
Chicken, mega deal, super chicken, mega deal.
The KFC value menu has you thinking chicken. Get the famous combo for just $640. KFC.
Stepping confidently into a new year starts with one simple, powerful word. Yes! Say yes to new beginnings. Say yes to a secure future. Say yes to living the life you love with your family. With health and life insurance from Sagicor Life. We're here to give you the protection and peace of mind you deserve in 2026. All you have to do is say yes to what matters most. Call 888 Sagicor to speak with an advisor today.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Thanks so much for staying with us. We now go to an item of breaking news. Mere hours before the ceremonial opening of Parliament on Thursday, the government is putting Jamaicans on alert. Expect new taxes. In a media release a short while ago, Finance Minister Favour Williams announced new tax measures will have to be implemented due to the fallout from Hurricane Melissa.
We must now take measured steps to close that gap, and that will include new revenue measures. We could choose to finance the entire deficit through borrowing, but Jamaica has already traveled that path with negative outcomes. We have lived through the debt trap before. Decades of high debt, high interest payments, and limited fiscal space. Over the last several years, through discipline and shared sacrifice, we have reduced our debt and restored credibility. Borrowing will play a role, but it must be strategic, directed towards capital investments that build resilience and expand our productive capacity. As far as possible, recurrent expenses must be financed by recurring taxation revenues.
In the meantime, Minister Williams insists all new taxes will be implemented in a manner to protect the most vulnerable.
Let me also assure you that equity is central to our approach. We are reviewing anomalies in the tax system and ensuring that the burden is shared fairly. The most vulnerable will be protected. The measures will be calibrated, balanced, and sensitive to the realities facing households and businesses. This approach will safeguard Jamaica's stability, preserve our hard-won fiscal gains, and finance our recovery in a way that is sustainable and just.
Did popular blog Politics Watch by Sir P influence a 2023 police operation? That was the suggestion by defense counsel as the Clansman gang trial continued in the Supreme Court on Wednesday. Carla Ramdeen was in court.
The Clansman gang trial continues today as the first prosecution witness was recalled to the stand. Now he testified that he did not get any intel from blogger Sir P to carry out any operations on March the 5th, 2023. The first prosecution witness, a police officer from CTOC, was recalled to the stand today for cross-examination, where questions centered around whether information from a popular blogger influenced the March 5, 2023 operation at North Avenue, where a man was shot and killed by the witness. Under questioning, the witness acknowledged that he listens to blogger Sir P from time to time, but denied ever receiving or acting on intel from him. Defense counsel referenced the witness's March 8, 2023 interview with Indicom and suggested that details about the third man who escaped on the day of the incident came from Politics Watch. The prosecution strongly objected on the basis of the context of the information given. The witness later testified that he and his colleagues would listen to Politics Watch at work. The defense suggested that during the March 5, 2023 incident, some of the witness's actions were influenced by what they heard on Politics Watch. The witness strongly rejected that suggestion, maintaining that any information they received came from multiple sources, not solely from Sir P. Efforts by the defense to introduce a document to show inconsistencies were challenged by the prosecution, who argued there were no contradictions in the witness's evidence. Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
Police in Manchester have arrested and charged a 21-year-old businessman in connection with 3 murders in the parish and are urging another suspect to turn himself in. Meanwhile, a powerful submachine gun is among 2 illegal firearms seized in St. James as lawmen move to put a lid on a recent uptick in murders in both parishes. Kevin Black reports.
Police in Manchester have charged a 21-year-old businessman in connection with 3 murders committed earlier this month in the parish. Commanding officer for the Manchester Division, Superintendent Kerry Duncan, says investigators are also urging another suspect to turn himself in as probes into the killings continue.
We officially charged Mr. C.J. Wilson, OC CJ, a 21 years old businessman of Old England district in the parish of Manchester, for 3 counts of murder. So I want to take this opportunity also to urge Mr. Orion Nelson to surrender himself to the police so we can have the necessary interviews done. And make no mistake that if you fail to surrender to us by 9 a.m. Wednesday, the 11th of February 2026, then certainly we will be coming for you.
Meanwhile, police in St. James are reporting progress in their efforts to remove illegal weapons from communities. The Jamaica Constabulary Force says 2 illegal firearms were seized during a joint operation with the Jamaica Defence Force on Tuesday. Acting Operations Officer for the St. James Division, Deputy Superintendent Roger Reid, says the security forces remain committed to disrupting criminal networks and taking guns off the streets.
Police, along with our military counterparts,
counterpart embarked on an operational activity in the flanker community. We subsequently seized 2 illegal weapons which we removed from this community, one being a submachine firearm and the other a 9mm pistol. Now this brings to 8 the number of illegal weapons removed from the streets and communities within the St. James Division, and also over 150 assorted ammunition.
Both officers pledged to intensify operational efforts.
This, I'll say, is testament of the quality of work being done by the Manchester Police as it relates to solving major crimes within the space.
So we continue operational activity, and we also ask and advise the public to bear with us, the police, as we continue to do the operational activities within our communities.
The arrest in Manchester follows an uptick in murders in recent weeks, while St. James has also seen close to half a dozen murders in the past week. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Still in the news, opposition leader Mark Golding is raising concerns about the proposed casino regulations, warning that gaps in consumer protection, gambling addiction safeguards and fiscal transparency could negatively impact Jamaicans. He's also calling for greater parliamentary oversight of tax arrangements negotiated with large investors.
I think the debate here has highlighted 2 things. One can import a construct which appears to be best practice from a regulatory standpoint and import it into Jamaica and pat yourself on the back that you're doing something wonderful. Concerns about consumer protection, the problem of gambling addiction that the regulations are woefully inadequate in failing to address in any fulsome way. Failing to have provisions in them that provide for training, the transfer of skills, for integration of these economic activities into the local economy.
In the meantime, however, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is defending the government's approach to fiscal incentives tied to large-scale investments, including casino developments. He says institutional reforms over the past decade now ensure transparency, accountability, and legal oversight in how tax concessions are granted.
It may have been the case a decade ago, where it was totally at the discretion of government to grant fiscal incentives to large investors, large economic projects of this nature. And indeed, we would have seen in our past where sometimes the government would have given up significant revenues, given significant tax breaks, and what we would have gotten would not have amounted to the benefit. We have a piece of legislation called the Large-Scale Pioneer Industries Act, which I would like to remind the leader of the opposition of, because I'm certain that he would have played a part in debating this bill when it came into effect. And therefore, the leader of the opposition is aware that the government is not on a frolic of its own.
And despite a 3-strike leniency window from the Public Health Inspectorate before being penalized for operating without a license, some food handling operators and owners in the corporate area are still taking the risk. However, the closure penalty is being enforced now more than ever, and so the warning, get your license.
Food service continues to multiply as a fast-growing sector responsible for an increase in investment and income, be it quick service, casual or fine dining. In the corporate area alone,
from previous records and our own projectional estimations and computations, we believe we have in excess of 6,000 food handling establishments in Kingston and St. Andrew.
Similar to the upward movement, a primary area of concern is failure to conform to public health guidelines, including a license to operate.
The health department is aware that these operators of food handling establishments provide a valuable service to the populace. And so we wouldn't necessarily want to enforce closure of these facilities or prosecutions.
We are prepared to work with all our clients and stakeholders, he stresses.
A few of them really were given verbal warning last year in October. They were given written warning and they were given an extended period of time and they still didn't comply.
But how could such leniency be misconstrued?
I strongly suspect that some operators might be of the view that we do not normally take enforcement actions.
Well, be warned. Since January, 17 defiant food handling establishments have faced the hardline action of closure under the Public Health Food Handling Regulation, and others are pending.
CVM News at 7 continues after this break.
KFC value menu has you thinking chicken. Get the famous combo for just $640.
The time by KFC is
7:30.
It's 8 a.m. and Mr. Thompson can't find chalk. Or his dignity. His white squalor. Meanwhile, onside, error, a mash-up concrete. Or so it seems. Wait, I can't embellish that. It's almost that time for Ashley's belly to plop out. Don't get creative with your hunger. Solve it with mothers.
Mommy, ice cream.
Even the little ones get hungry too. Mothers, all day delicious. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Unbeatable value you will love. Find it only at Quartz. Get up to $80,000 off select furniture, appliances, and electronics. Keep your cash. Shop on credit and choose how you pay. Get unbeatable value you will love. Find it only at Quartz. Bringing value home. Offer ends February 28, 2026. Conditions apply.
Welcome back. It's now time for your business report with Joel Crosskill.
Lots to share with you in the business report today, as a significant milestone for the University of Technology was reached with the addition of a state-of-the-art facility that has the potential to advance the nation's manufacturing ecosystem. A proud moment for the University of Technology and its president Dr. Kevin Brown as the UTech Lloyd Carney Foundation IMEC Laboratory was officially launched, made possible through the vision and generosity of Chancellor of the University of Technology, Ambassador Lloyd Carney.
I wish to express our sincere and profound gratitude to our Chancellor, Ambassador Lloyd Carney, and the Lloyd Carney Foundation for a remarkable investment of over $1 million, which has been used to establish this advanced STEM lab. This act of generosity exemplifies the power of giving back and reflects a deep commitment to national development through education, innovation, and opportunity. We are immensely grateful.
Since his designation as Jamaica's Ambassador Special Investment Envoy for Technology in 2023 by Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness, Carney has remained a steadfast advocate for innovation, education and investment in Jamaica.
What I set out to do was to identify Jamaicans who could become growth champions, opinion leaders and offer an alternative to the old narratives that exist in our society and our culture. And so I appointed several I call them investment ambassadors. And their job simply is to bring to Jamaica the investment and the technology and the connections that we need to grow. Because remember what I said, growth is not a policy on paper. Growth is granular in action. It's about finding the little opportunities, the little windows, and going through them, knocking on the doors and opening, physically bringing in the investment.
That ambition is now anchored by one of the most advanced metal additive manufacturing systems in the Caribbean.
This is the first metal 3D printing system installed in the Caribbean, positioning UTech and Jamaica at the forefront of advanced engineering and next generation manufacturing. This technology enables the production of high performance engineering components for critical sectors such as aerospace, including jet engine parts, automotive manufacturing, brake calipers and pistons, and medicine and dentistry, implants and precision devices. The IMEC Lab will support applied research and will be open to collaboration with industry, enabling rapid prototyping and the production of small volume, high value components right here in Jamaica.
Alongside the advanced system, the facility will house a wide range of general purpose 3D printers and digital fabrication tools that will be accessible to students across the university and for broader industry collaboration as well.
And in practical terms, it enables faster innovation and better performing components. And this is precisely the capabilities Jamaica must develop as we move up the global manufacturing value chain.
Ranked number 73 on the inaugural Wall Street Journal list of the top 250 most influential and effective corporate directors set to serve on S&P 500 boards in 2025, Ambassador Carney invited corporate Jamaica to embrace partnerships of this nature.
This is an opportunity for us to show how private sector can work with government institutions. We hope this is a roadmap for others to follow. Because if I showed up and gave him $1 million to Dr. Brown and said, here, Dr. Brown, is $1 million, go put this lab in place, not for lack of hard work, it would not have happened. It would not have happened because we didn't have the expertise on campus with our procurement team to go and find the best equipment in the world.
Now, there are many industries in Jamaica that use very sophisticated machinery and parts. And most of them have to import the skills to service those machines. Now, can you imagine when we have supply chain disruptions, what that could do to our very small manufacturing industry? Having the capability to design and use additive manufacturing here gives us another layer of security.
And that was your business report. I'm Joel Crosskill.
It's now time for regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. In Grenada, what began as a routine operational day at the General Hospital quickly escalated into a major security alert after a prison